Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore something deeply meaningful, joy. Because the truth is, joy is not something you discover on the outside. It is something you nurture on the inside. But most people are not struggling because life is terrible. They are struggling because of their patterns. Small patterns, daily choices, negative cycles slowly drain their energy. In this video, we are going to uncover 6 destroyers of joy that are quietly affecting your life. If you eliminate these, your thinking will shift, your calm will expand, and your life will feel more free. So watch this video till the end because this can transform how you experience every single day. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Complaining. The first destroyer of joy is complaining. Now understand this deeply. Complaining does not fix anything. It only makes things worse. Let's go deeper. Most people complain without even noticing it. They complain about their circumstances. They complain about their situation. They complain about things beyond their control. And slowly this becomes their default mode. Now imagine this. Every day you focus on what is going wrong. What happens? Your mind turns dark. Even minor problems feel enormous. Now here is something very important. Whatever you give your attention to grows. If you give attention to problems, you feel overwhelmed. If you give attention to solutions, you feel empowered. Now imagine this. Instead of complaining, you ask, what can I fix? What can I improve? What happens? You take action. Your life starts moving forward. Now here is the powerful shift. Complaining keeps you trapped. Action sets you free. Let's go even deeper. Complaining also drains your energy. It makes you feel exhausted. It makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel heavy. Now imagine this. You stop complaining. You accept what lies beyond your control. You work on what you can influence. What happens? You feel free. Your mind finds stillness. Now here is something very powerful. Joy grows inside a positive mind. Now imagine this. You choose gratitude over complaint. What happens? Your whole perspective shifts. You start noticing the good things in your life. You cannot control everything, but you can always control your response. Remember this line. Stop complaining because the more you focus on problems, the further joy moves away from you. So from today, don't waste energy on what you cannot change. Focus on answers. Take steps. Stay constructive. Because joy begins the moment complaining ends. This is the first destroyer, complaining. Lesson 2. Negative self-talk. The second destroyer of joy is negative self-talk. Now understand this clearly. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you feel. Let's go deeper. Most people treat strangers with more kindness than they treat themselves. They say things like, I am not capable. I cannot do this. I always fall short. I am not like others. And gradually these words become deep-rooted beliefs. Now imagine this. You repeat damaging thoughts every single day. What happens? Your confidence fades. Your energy collapses. Your mindset weakens. Here is something very important. Your mind accepts whatever you repeat to it consistently. Now imagine this. You keep telling yourself, I am going to fail. What happens? You stop attempting because your mind has already surrendered. Now imagine the opposite. You shift your inner language. You say, I can grow. I can learn. I will try once more. What happens? Your mindset strengthens. You begin taking steps. Here is the powerful shift. The words you say to yourself shape your reality. Negative self-talk creates fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of beginning. Now imagine this. You doubt yourself before even starting. What happens? You take no action. Your life remains unchanged. Now imagine the opposite. You encourage yourself. You support yourself the way a true friend would. What happens? You feel capable. You start moving. Here is something very powerful. You are always listening to your own voice. So make sure that voice builds you up. Every time something goes wrong, instead of saying, I am worthless, you say, I gained experience. What happens? Your outlook changes. Failure becomes a teacher. No one speaks to you more than you speak to yourself. So your inner voice matters more than anything. Talk to yourself like someone you deeply care about, because your words can either build you or break you. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop recycling negative thoughts. Stop questioning your value. Begin encouraging yourself. Begin believing in your capacity. Because when your inner voice turns positive, your life turns peaceful. This is the second destroyer, negative self-talk. Lesson 3. Lack of goals. The third destroyer of joy is living without goals. Now understand this clearly. Without direction, life feels hollow. Let's go deeper. Every human being needs a reason to move forward. A reason to rise in the morning. A reason to take action. A reason to grow. And that reason is called a goal. Now imagine this. You wake up each day but have no idea what you are working toward. What happens? You feel lost. You feel uninspired. You feel purposeless. Here is something very important. Happiness is not just about comfort. It is about forward movement. Now imagine this. You are progressing even in the smallest ways. What happens? You feel alive. Your life carries meaning. Here is the powerful shift. Goals give your life a direction. Let's go even deeper. Without goals, time slips away easily. You don't know what truly matters. You don't know where to direct your energy. Now imagine this. You have clear goals. You know exactly what you are after. What happens? Your attention sharpens. Your time becomes precious. Here is something very powerful. Goals build discipline because when you know your destination, you begin managing your choices. Now imagine this. You have something meaningful to accomplish. What happens? You ignore distractions. You remain committed. Your progress accelerates. A person without goals is easily pulled in every direction. They follow others. They get sidetracked. They lose time. But imagine this. You walk your own path. What happens? You remain grounded. You move with intention. Goals also create hope. They give you something worth anticipating. Now imagine this. You are working towards something that truly matters to you. What happens? Even difficult days feel worth enduring. Progress creates joy. Every day you get a little closer. What happens? You feel fulfilled. Your confidence expands. Your goals don't need to be perfect. They just need to exist. Start small. Set simple targets. Begin moving. Because without goals, life feels empty. But with direction, every single step feels significant. Set goals. Start small. Keep moving. Because when your life has direction, happiness has a reason to grow. This is the third destroyer, lack of goals. Lesson 4. Procrastination. The fourth destroyer of joy is procrastination. Now understand this clearly. Procrastination is not just postponing tasks. It is postponing your happiness. Let's go deeper. Most people think, I will handle it later. I will begin tomorrow. I just need a little more time. And slowly the most important things keep getting pushed aside. Now imagine this. You have something critical to do. But instead of starting, you avoid it. You scroll, you browse, you distract yourself. What happens? Nothing moves forward. Here is something very important. The longer you postpone, the harder it becomes to begin. Now imagine this. You keep delaying the same task over and over. What happens? It grows larger in your mind. You feel overwhelmed. You avoid it even more. And this loop keeps spinning. Here is the powerful shift. The barrier is not the task itself. The barrier is starting. Now imagine this. You take one small step. Just begin. What happens? The pressure lifts. You feel in control. Let's go even deeper. Procrastination creates anxiety because unfinished work occupies your mind constantly. Now imagine this. You carry a long list of incomplete tasks. What happens? Your mind feels congested. You feel unsettled. You feel tense. Now imagine the opposite. You complete what needs to be done. What happens? You feel at ease. Your mind finds calm. Here is something very powerful. Action brings clarity. Delay brings confusion. Now imagine this. You begin working even imperfectly. What happens? Understanding comes. Progress follows. Here is something very important. Procrastination also weakens your confidence because every time you delay, you break a promise to yourself. Now imagine this. You commit to doing something and then walk away from it. What happens? You stop believing in yourself. Your confidence crumbles. Now imagine the opposite. You honor your word. You do what you say. What happens? You trust yourself. Your confidence builds. Confidence is born from action, not from thinking. Stop waiting. Start doing. Because procrastination also steals opportunities. While you are hesitating, someone else is moving. Time does not pause. And success does not hold itself for people who delay. Take action today. Small action now is worth more than perfect action someday. Stop waiting, because the longer you delay, the further joy moves from you. Start now, even if it is small. Because action dissolves stress and progress creates happiness. This is the fourth destroyer, procrastination. Lesson 5. The need for validation. The fifth destroyer of joy is the need for validation. Now understand this clearly. When your happiness depends on others approving of you, you surrender control of your own life. Let's go deeper. Most people desire to be accepted. They want others to like them. They want others to approve of them. They want to hear, "You are good enough." And because of this, they reshape themselves. They behave differently. They hide their real thoughts. They work to satisfy everyone. Now imagine this. You build your entire life around others' opinions. What happens? You feel lost because you are not living your own life. You are living for an audience. Here is something very important. No matter what you do, not everyone will approve of you. Now imagine this. You exhaust yourself trying to please everyone. What happens? You feel drained. You feel hollow. You feel unfulfilled. Here is the powerful shift. You do not need everyone's approval. You need your own acceptance. Let's go even deeper. Seeking validation breeds insecurity because you constantly search outside yourself for confidence. Now imagine this. Someone praises you and you feel wonderful. But someone criticizes you. What happens? You collapse. Your emotions are now managed by strangers. Here is something very powerful. True confidence is internal, not external. Now imagine this. You trust yourself. You stand behind your decisions. What happens? You feel steady. Your happiness no longer rests in others' hands. Here is something very important. When you stop chasing validation, you begin living freely. Now imagine this. You do what is right for you, not what others expect. What happens? You feel at peace. Your life becomes genuine. The need for validation also halts growth because fear of judgment paralyzes you. Now imagine this. You want to try something new but think, what will people say? What happens? You freeze. You miss your chance. Now imagine the opposite. You focus on your own growth regardless of judgment. What happens? You act. Your life improves. People's opinions shift constantly. But your life belongs to you. Approval is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. The moment you stop chasing approval, you become powerful because no one can manage your emotions anymore. Stop seeking validation, because your value is not determined by others. It is determined by you. Trust yourself. Accept yourself. Be yourself. Because real happiness arrives when you stop searching outside and start believing inside. This is the fifth destroyer, the need for validation. Lesson 6. Comparing yourself to others. The sixth and final destroyer of joy is comparing yourself to others. Now understand this clearly. Comparison robs you of happiness not because others are more advanced, but because you stop recognizing your own worth. Let's go deeper. Most people measure their life against others. They see someone more accomplished. They see someone more self-assured. They see someone living a seemingly better life. And they think, I am behind. I am not enough. My life falls short. And slowly their joy evaporates. Now imagine this. You observe others daily and stack your life against theirs. What happens? You feel envious. You feel insecure. You feel dissatisfied. Here is something very important. Comparison creates discontent because you concentrate on what you lack instead of what you already hold. Now imagine the opposite. You focus on your own path. You look at your own progress. What happens? You feel at peace. Your joy expands. Here is the powerful shift. Don't compare your life. Build your life. Let's go even deeper. Everyone walks a different path, with different timing, different struggles, different chances. Now imagine this. You compare your beginning to someone else's peak. What happens? You feel discouraged. You lose the will to continue. Now imagine the opposite. You honor your own journey. You understand your own pace. What happens? You feel calm. You remain committed. Here is something very powerful. You never see the full story of others. You only see their best moments on display. Now imagine this. You hold your real life up against someone's highlight reel. What happens? You feel inferior. Here is something very important. Your life is one of a kind. Your path is your own. And that is your greatest strength. Now imagine this. You stop comparing. You start growing. What happens? Your confidence rises. Your life gains momentum. Comparison also creates jealousy, and jealousy destroys inner peace. Now imagine this. You feel envious of others. What happens? Your energy turns bitter. You stop investing in your own growth. Now imagine the opposite. You feel inspired by others. You learn from what they have achieved. What happens? Your mindset lifts. You grow. Focus on progress, not comparison. Every day you improve a little. What happens? You become better than you were. That is what real success looks like. Happiness comes from within, not from measuring yourself against the outside world. Accept yourself. Value your journey. What happens? You feel content. Your life feels rich with meaning. The moment you stop comparing, you start truly living. Comparison steals your joy, but self-growth creates it. So from today, stop measuring your life against others. Stop deciding your worth by their achievements. Stop sacrificing your peace for comparison. Focus on yourself. Grow daily. Keep going. Because your life is not a race. It is a journey. And when you walk your own path, happiness walks right beside you. This is the final destroyer. Comparison. Closing. Now understand this clearly. Happiness is not something you stumble upon. It is something you protect. And most of the time, it is not life that takes your joy. It is your habits. Small negative habits, daily thoughts, unmanaged patterns quietly erode your peace. But the beautiful truth is, you can change them. You can stop complaining. You can reshape your self-talk. You can set goals. You can take action. You can stop chasing approval. You can stop comparing. And the moment you do, your life begins to feel lighter. So from today, don't sit and wait for happiness to arrive. Create it. Guard it. Build it every single day. If you found something valuable here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell, because we bring you powerful lessons that can genuinely transform your mindset and your life. And always remember, happiness is not outside. It begins inside you. I will see you in the next video.